Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is a day I've been waiting for a long time, because it is the day that I drop my car off to get a rebuilt SST transmission. So yeah, about to head off and we're going to take both the Evos, and yeah, it's time to drop my car off at AK Racing, where it's going to get a full rebuild of the SST with 10 plate clutches, shift fork upgrades, and basically everything done. It's going to be a big bill, but well worth it, because I plan on keeping this car for the long term, and it's the one sort of thing that the car really needs. You can see the car, in my mind, looks great, performs great, handles great. It's got all the parts on it that I kind of want. It's basically where I want the car as the perfect daily driver for me, other than the fact it's a little bit annoying to drive on sort of a steep hill. It doesn't really engage the clutches straight away. Sometimes when doing a pull, you have to wonder whether you need to worry about the clutches not shifting properly when you do upshift. And it's just not as enjoyable to drive with the slipping sort of on the way out clutches compared to when I jump in Letitia's MR. So yeah, today we're about to jump in. I'll chuck the GoPro on my head. I'll talk a bit more about what I'm getting done. And yeah, we'll get this car dropped off. We'll say goodbye for, actually not even know how long it'll be. I didn't actually ask him how long it'll take. I believe like a week to 2 weeks. But yeah, we'll drop this off, and yeah, I'm so keen. I was almost going to do a little launch control to show how bad it is, just because I knew, oh well, it'll only wreck the clutches a little bit more. They're getting replaced anyway. But after talking to Alan at AK, he's like, yeah, look, you can, but if the clutches completely let go and your engine just the clutches let go completely and it just free revs all the way up to limiter and sits there, you may cause engine problems. So I just thought, yeah, look, I'll just be patient. I'll finally get to use Spark Kart launch control once we pick the car back up and we've run the new SST in. So that's what we're doing. No crazy driving, but I'm going to do a little series on this, so I'll talk more about that once I get into the car. So yeah, if you guys aren't already subscribed, definitely make sure you subscribe. There is so much more content coming for this channel, which really excites me, especially now with the SST getting rebuilt. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of info coming, pricing, all sorts of stuff on sort of about the SST, about what you need to know, what needs to be replaced, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't already. But yeah, with all that said, let's jump into the cars and let's head off to AK Racing to drop this thing off. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are currently on our way to AK Racing. Got Letitia in front of me in her Evo. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about what I'm actually getting done to the SST. Now, like I said, it's like a full rebuild package they're giving me. So originally, a couple of years ago, and even probably when I started the channel, I think I said that I was just planning on getting new clutches, because I think that's all I really needed at the time. But after sort of thinking about it a bit more over the years, and driving Letitia's car with a fully rebuilt SST, I realised that just paying to get the gearbox sort of, pulled out, new clutches put in and the gearbox reinstalled, there's a lot of labour. So while it's out, best off just sort of getting everything done. Like, I haven't had any shift fork failures, but who knows, I could get the clutches done and then 3 months later I get shift fork failure. The car does have 87,000 kilometers on the clock now. It's a 2008 model, so it's getting a bit older. So the fact that I haven't had any SST issues other than my clutch slowly starting to slip is really good, to be honest. And yeah, for this amount of power it's putting down, like, it's not nothing crazy, but for stock clutches, stock gearbox and everything, it's running at around the 290 kilowatt range, so like 390 wheel horsepower, which is close to double the factory power. Like, I think they're around 160 kilowatts to the wheels factory. So at the 290, it's not far from double the power with all these kilometers on it. I don't know how previous owners looked after the transmission. One previous owner that I bought it off, I think it's had 3 before me, but the one just before me, he only owned it for about 3 months, and then he was unfortunately going through some troubles and closing down businesses and stuff, so he had to sell all his sort of toys. So he didn't own it for long, but when I was sort of test driving with him, I was asking about the super sport mode, and he didn't even know about it. He just said he drove it in normal mostly and then put it into sport when he wanted to do, have some fun. So the fact that he didn't even know about it, it's probably lucky he didn't own it for long, because if he was thrashing around in normal and sport mode, it probably wouldn't have lasted as long as it had. But yeah, either way, so with the amount of kilometres and the power, I don't plan on putting too much more power through it. Maybe a slightly larger turbo, but nothing above the sort of 320 kilowatt range, which is like the 420-ish horsepower at the wheels. That's all I want to really put through the car. So around what it's got now. So after talking to the guys at AK Racing, what would suit my needs best were a set of their AK Racing 10-plate clutches. They have a bunch of different options, starting at the OEM 8 plates, and they have 10-plate AK. They have the Cosmic clutch range, so 10, 12, 16, I think it goes up to like 18 or something for like a drag car. So yeah, 10-plate was going to work for me. It was going to give the closest to a daily drivability factor. I don't want something super grabby and bitey. This is just my daily driver. I want to keep it as the perfect sort of car to just be able to jump in and do whatever but still have fun in. So 10-plate was the best choice. We also decided I would definitely need the Cosmic shift fork upgrade. So they were the main sort of things that I sort of said that I would be wanting. So I've got the quote up. I'm not going to say the pricing at the moment because this is just a rough quote. It may change depending on things they do or don't need to change. But so basically we've got full gearbox R&R, upgraded the shift fork to the Dodson shift fork. Then we've got custom machining and modification to the other shift fork, mechatronic rebuild, and we've got an AK Racing upgraded stainless steel bore, cleaning the mechatronic unit, internal external filters, springs, O-rings, gaskets, rubber seals, all that stuff replaced. Wheel alignment, because they do drop the subframe out to remove the SST, so fresh wheel alignment, so I can pick the car up, it's good to go, don't have to worry about anything. 8 litres of Castrol Transmax Dual, as they'll obviously put new fluid in it, and a teach-in and a Super Sport update. They'll also do transfer gear oil and AYC oil, and then obviously the AK Racing 10-plate clutch, and then they exchange and give me a rebuilt torque dampener. So that is the bulk of what I'm getting done. There's obviously lots of labour and other workshop consumables in there which are all charged out. So yeah, like I said, I won't go over the price today because that may change. That is a rough quote to suit what they assume will need to be done. Might need more. I am getting a couple of other things done while I'm there, or buying a few other parts to fit once I get the car back, because I have been saving for this. After we bought our house, this was the next, we had a few little house renos to do, but this was the next big thing that we had planned. So it was, clear all loans, get the house, buy a few little things for the house, and then get this SST sorted. So both our cars are completely paid off in our names. Both will have rebuilt SSTs, upgraded turbos, the 85. We got our puppy. We're pretty sorted. We're very happy. It's all come to plan. So I'm really excited today to be dropping this off. And yeah, so that is basically what's going to happen. Now, there is so much that I can do with this car once the SST is rebuilt. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've made it home, back to just one car in the garage, so parked right in the middle with Letitia's MR. So yeah, didn't really remember to end the video on the way home, so I thought I'd do it now. And yeah, just let you guys know that in about 2 weeks. I was talking to AK, they'll have the car, so it'll be about 2 weeks. And I'm unsure if I mentioned at the start of the video or not, but what I'm hoping to do, it's not guaranteed because we do have some lockdown restrictions type stuff going on still, but hoping to, once I have the gearbox pulled apart, go in there. So it's Monday at the moment, so I'm going to go in there on the weekend, hopefully, if all goes to plan and they're still keen to do this. And they've got the gearbox sitting on the bench, pulled apart, and we can just do a technical video asking them some, commonly asked questions about the SST, what breaks, what's, a rough costs on certain things that need to be done and things that need to be fixed. How do you know if your shift fork's failed? How do you know if your clutches are slipping? Those type of questions. What's the cost going to be? What do you recommend? If I'm doing shift fork, should I do everything? That sort of stuff. So I'm going to ask them all those types of questions, and yeah, get them to show you guys what the SST looks like pulled apart on the bench, show you what the clutches and the shift fork look like, how they go about reinstalling everything, difference between some old warped clutches that will be possibly coming out of my car and the fresh new 10-plate clutch. So yeah, we're going to go over all that. So hopefully that's a really helpful video. It'll be very technical, something that hopefully can be used in the future by many people looking at buying these cars or people who have one. So yeah, hopefully you guys are keen to see that and it does go ahead. Hopefully I'm not just wasting minutes talking about it and it doesn't happen, but that is something we did discuss when I talked about booking my car in. So yeah, if that happens, that will be the next video, I guess, on the channel. But otherwise, this is going to be it for today. So we're down to one Evo for a couple of weeks. We've got the trusty daily driver of Letitia's that I'll be having to drive to work for next week. And yeah, we'll pick this back up once we have a little bit more to tell you guys. So yeah, that's going to be it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And let me know what you think. If you have any questions you'd like me to ask Alan and Keith from AK Racing about the SST, if we do the technical video, leave those down below. I'll ask as many of those as possible. So that's probably something I should have said earlier. Yeah, make sure you leave those comments. And yeah, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.